6ix9ine sells maps, but she literally sells them to the guru in front of the booze store in Bro County. From 6ix9ine's unrepentant anarchy to City's polished perfection to Mellow Rax's surprising rise, I don't suppose Gas is purchasing this nastiness. The rap world has already been rocked by 6ix9ine's list. However, everything changes with the fourth name, the one that nobody anticipated. 6ix9ine. When 6ix9ine leaned into the microphone, the studio lights of Fresh and Fit flickered like a confessional booth. As he blurted out the words that would soon ignite the entire internet, his rainbow-colored hair captured the attention of the camera. She literally sold it to the obsessed in front of the booze store in Bro County, even if I don't think Makin Enchu is purchasing this horrible Bugiana cell map. Uncertain of whether to control the debate or let it burn, the hosts chuckled anxiously, but it was too late. With remarks like 6ix9ine exposes female rappers again, the video became viral and tore across X, previously Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram Reels. 6ix9ine, whose true name is Destiny Lynette Henderson, became embroiled in yet another hip-hop issue as a result of that one offensive phrase. 6ix9ine, who was well known for her flamboyant persona and shamelessly frank lyrics, was no stranger to controversy. She wasn't stirring things up this time, though. It was she who was being examined. It was no coincidence that 6ix9ine rose from the gritty streets of Philadelphia to love and hip-hop Miami. She positioned herself as the lady who could outshine any man in the room, outspoken and profane. She accepted her sexuality as a strength rather than a source of guilt with songs like Slob on My Knob, Remix, and Surprise. However, 6ix9ine's claim that she was the largest rap seller turned empowerment into exploitation. It was an attempt to undermine her career, not just a jab. Her name became popular under the hashtag Sukigate in the days after the podcast, with half of the internet making fun of her and the other half defending her right to control her image. Memes proliferate rapidly. 6ix9ine's words was quoted verbatim by several. It was twisted into black humor by others. Few, however, stopped to think about the pattern. Another hip-hop dude who uses a woman's sexuality as a weapon. The irony. 6ix9ine himself used public feuds, trolling, and shock value to build an empire. And the ideal opponent was 6ix9ine, the self-described ratchet queen of Miami. Bold, unvarnished, and fearless in the face of criticism. You must comprehend 6ix9ine's past in order to comprehend why 6ix9ine's assertion struck such a deep chord. She had more than simply romantic interactions. They were public performances that were frequently exaggerated by gossip blogs and reality TV. Each one exposed a bit of her flaws and resiliency. Chaotic, another member of the Love and Hip Hop cast, was her first public partner. In 2019, the two had a brief romantic relationship, but it ended before it could shape her narrative. But it was her subsequent romance that garnered the most media attention. 6ix9ine started dating rapper Kill Bill that same year, and their brief courtship ended in marriage in September 2020. Two rappers in love balancing celebrity, family, and public scrutiny made for an incredible reality TV show. However, there were fractures going on behind the scenes. Distractify claims that outside forces caused the marriage to fail. Her mother, managers, and producers all cautioned her that being a wife might damage her reputation. It did, but not because she married, but rather because she was made fun of for it. Later on, 6ix9ine acknowledged that love had diverted her from her objectives, echoing a terrible theme that will recur repeatedly in her life. She swore that she would never again let a relationship to ruin her career. Then came Ray J, the R&B artist whose name is a byword for scandal involving celebrities. Through his Chronix network, 6ix9ine and Ray J's business partnership in 2024 swiftly descended into what fans labeled the year's most tumultuous entanglement. Tabloids reported lavish presents, coordinated attire, and intense public courting. Everything went crazy when a new guy showed up sporting a Tronix chain. Ray J took jabs on social media. 6ix9ine gave a back clap. Even Ray J's estranged wife entered the fray, revealing communications suggesting a sexual relationship between Ray J and 6ix9ine. Baylor Alert and Hot New Hip Hop claimed that the feud turned into a viral circus that made it difficult to distinguish between power and love. A fan put it best in a tweet. "6ix9ine dates headlines rather than men." He capitalized on a caricature that the internet already accepted when 6ix9ine dropped her name on Fresh and Fit. He was not only humiliating her by labeling her a salesperson, but he was also using her past as a weapon. 6ix9ine disclosed her new lover, Good RX Snoop, a music producer who appeared to stabilize her turbulent personal life. Following the breakdown with Ray J, she told admirers that she was finally off the market in June 2024 by posting sweet pictures that confirmed their love and addressed pregnancy speculations. She and Snoop had been secretly dating for months, according to Hot New Hip Hop. However, peace did not become popular, as the internet often does. Snoop was thrown into the frenzy when 6ix9ine's accusations surfaced. His page was inundated with comments. He referred to her as a seller and said, "Bro, your girl on 6ix9ine's list. What are you responding with?" He remained silent. 6ix9ine didn't either. Her power move was silence. But further conjecture was sparked by that silence. Was she just reluctant to give the claim any dignity? Or was it guilt? Fresh and Fit wasn't the beginning of the conflict between 6ix9ine and 6ix9ine. His harsh remarks regarding Ariella Langosta, a buddy who starred in his Wape video before to her untimely death, and his diss tracks directed at Young Thug had drawn criticism from 6ix9ine weeks prior. He exploited death for streams, and she accused him of being soulless. 6ix9ine responded by associating her candor about sex with prostitution, displaying the kind of bigotry that has made him notorious. Pick a target, incite anger, and ride the viral wave. It was right out of the 6ix9ine playbook. Every time, it was successful. The internet broke down every sentence in less than 48 hours. Timelines of 6ix9ine and 6ix9ine squaring off were overflowing. Like in a boxing match, fans took sides. Sex workers versus clout chasers. However, the battle wasn't fair. 6ix9ine possessed a platform. In the past, 6ix9ine was unable to get away from the internet. This is the unpleasant reality. Hip-hop's persistent hypocrisy was reflected in 6ix9ine's remarks, which caused a stir. As trophies, men display their sexual victories. For the same reason, women are crucified. 6ix9ine used her sexual confidence as a weapon against the same culture that attempted to humiliate her in order to establish her brand. However, the public abruptly forgets that double standard when a man like 6ix9ine confronts her. He's correct, too. Although 6ix9ine didn't request to be on 6ix9ine's list, her name supports the idea that hip-hop ladies are utilizing sex as a form of payment. Ironically, 6ix9ine once boasted that he had paid $40,000 for a hookup. 6ix9ine has not made a public response as of late October 2025. No live streams, no rants, and no tweets. Her quiet is deafening for a woman who is known for making spectacular comebacks. According to people close to her, she is carefully considering her response to Hot New Hip Hop. There are rumors that she will address it in a future single, which would be a more overt form of poetic retaliation. However, she has been busy behind the scenes. She is concentrating on her new music on Tronix Network, the same label that was previously associated with her Ray J drama, and her performance on Baddies East. 6ix9ine is fascinating because of this. She repackages the hate into gasoline each time the industry tries to cancel her. She transforms the offense into a brand, whether it's being labeled ratchet, disrespectful, or now circulated. She is aware, too, that this one struck differently because the slander was broadcast on television and wasn't just personal. The studio became silent as soon as 6ix9ine announced her name. Sweetie. You brought up Sweetie. You brought up Mello, I see. Ruby was mentioned. All it took to set City on fire was one casual remark tucked somewhere between jokes and jeers. Just association, no thinking, no context. But when your name is Saweetie and you've created an empire out of luxury, love, and self-assurance, it feels different to be casually called one of the most talked about. Born Diamante Chiava, Valentine Harper, Saweetie never need approval from others. She was bright, well-educated, and polished when she entered the field. Before a record company ever took notice of her when her breakthrough track Icy Girl came out in 2018, she was a USC graduate who knew how to promote her image. She turned into the epitome of self-assurance. The girl who could wear the priciest clothes, date the sexiest rappers, and never get tired. Her look was immaculate, her lyrics were unreserved, and her mood was sophisticated. Because of this, 6ix9ine's mention of her name went viral online. It was more than just an insult. Her reputation was put to the test. An insinuation that there was something transactional going on behind the empowerment anthems and jewels. Being close to influential men was more important for success in hip-hop than skill. Long before City became the face of Warner Brothers' hip-hop section, the media was devouring it, even though fans weren't buying it. She was just a teenager juggling mixed tape dreams with college life. She also changed her dating life in public, just like the majority of young celebrities. Actor Keith Powers was the subject of her first well-known romance. Before either became well-known, the two dated for almost 4 years, beginning in their late teens. It was a youthful Hollywood romance. Capital XTR claims that they got together through common connections, bonded over ambition, and ended their relationship when professional demands got in the way. In later interviews, Keith acknowledged that their bond was basic but occasionally destructive. Seti, however, saw it as an opportunity to learn. It was the first time she realized that not all men could manage a woman who was destined for success. Some of her early freestyles were inspired by that breakup, evidence that she was turning heartbreak into hustling long before she became famous. City and Justin Combs, the son of Sean Diddy Combs, had a brief but highly talked-about relationship in 2016. The combination of the up-and-coming rapper and the hip-hop heir made her a hot topic right away. They met at a post-graduation party and dated for a brief period of time. Fans conjectured that her 2018 song B was directed at Justin, who supposedly dumped her for Aaliyah Petty, another influencer. The timing was too ideal to overlook, yet neither verified it. Even yet, the relationship was somewhat mild. It was her next one, the one that would alter everything and define her public persona. Up until it wasn't, City and Quavo's romance was hip-hop's version of a fairy tale. It began simply enough with a direct message. Quavo used a straightforward snowflake symbol in her Instagram messages. Huncho was his Migos moniker. Icy Girl was her name. It was a hit on the internet. They rose to prominence as one of the most photographed musical couples. Coordinated attire, luxury jets, and opulent Birkin presents. It was a display of opulent passion. However, that fairy tale ended in March 2021. A surveillance video clip from an elevator that appeared to depict a violent struggle between the two was published by TMZ. Before, Quo dragged her inside the elevator and shoved her up against the wall. City seemed to swing first. Supporters were split. Was it a passionate disagreement gone awry, or was there abuse? Soon after, she posted a mysterious tweet. "I've experienced too much treachery and pain behind the scenes for a fake narrative that disparages my character to be spreading." She became the new face of heartbreak empowerment after her message went viral. However, the internet's memory is limited. Additionally, all of those previous relationships, Keith, Justin, and Quavo, were abruptly recast as proof of a pattern when 6ix9ine mentioned her in 2025. Despite City's efforts to conceal her personal life following her split from Quavo, rumors continued to circulate. Unconfirmed rumors of a brief relationship with Roddy Ricch surfaced in 2021, fanned by fan-run websites and Who's Dated Who. The purported James Harden incident followed. Harden publicly refuted online allegations that the NBA player transferred her $100,000 via Cash App only to go on a date. An Amigos affiliate liked a tweet about it, which sparked the myth. Even after City made it clear that she was concentrating on self-love, her name quickly returned to the headlines she had never requested. She was still linked to men she hardly knew by gossip blogs. She was eventually seen with rapper YG in 2023, and this time it was genuine. They were photographed holding hands and grinning while on vacation in Cabo. Supporters rejoiced. City finally found someone to relax with. However, Vibe and People announced their separation less than a year later. Both sides said it was friendly and that they would be better off as friends. The internet's memories wasn't silent during the breakup. Fans immediately hauled out images, previous tweets, and receipts when 6ix9ine mentioned her name, manipulating her past relationships to support his claim. It's simple to forget why 6ix9ine brought up City in the first place. He didn't accuse her of being hostile. He did not accuse her of making disparaging remarks about him. He just added her name to the list along with Sukihana, Ruby Rose, and Mellow Rex. It wasn't intimate. It was calculated. Seti was a symbol, the ideal female rapper with mainstream respect, brand deals, and crossover appeal. 6ix9ine wasn't merely criticizing her by including her, he was criticizing the notion that women in rap climb via reputation and merit rather than turmoil. He has been using the same pattern for years. Deflect, provoke, then make money. Streams increase each time he sparks controversy. According to data pages quoted by Rap Alert, his Spotify monthly listeners increased by around 200,000 in just 3 days following the show. City, meanwhile, said nothing. There was no statement from her team. No clapback was posted by her. Rather, she focused more on her career, recording sessions, and a preview of her next album, Pretty Re. Music 2. She was wise enough not to give 6ix9ine the attention he desired. Social media, however, was not amused. Thousands of supporters rallied to her defense under posts made by Academics TV. Not City. These days, 6ix9ine talks more about women than music. She has basically done nothing to this man. She wouldn't even look at him, which infuriated him. Some weren't that nice. On Reddit threads, memes that compared Seti's ex-partners like Quavo YG and Justin Combs went viral like a rap version of Hollywood's Rotation. The misogyny was audible and well-known. Commentators started pointing out that men attempt to take away a woman's independence in hip-hop by accusing her of being promiscuous, making money by abusing their power as rappers. That one line from 6ix9ine's tirade, using their power as rappers to obtain money, became the focal point of a more extensive discussion. Did he mean that these ladies sleep their way to success? Or was it a manifestation of his personal animosity for female rappers who have surpassed him in popularity? The solution appears to be clear. Seti didn't require anyone's influence. If anything, being with her attracted more attention to the men she dated. Seti's brand has always been her genius. She is more than just a rapper. She combines fashion, feminism, and financial freedom to create a persona that any young woman may aspire to, making her a walking aesthetic. She poses a threat to individuals such as 6ix9ine because of this. She doesn't depend on shock value. Beef is not necessary for her. She doesn't engage in his activities. Her collaboration with Crocs, her association with MAC Cosmetics, and her McDonald's City meal are all examples of a woman who made money off of her personality without sacrificing her character. Therefore, it wasn't just disrespect when 6ix9ine included her on his list of people he passed around. It was a projection. The last-ditch effort by a man who was becoming irrelevant to undermine women who used elegance to create empires. City has not commented on the claim as of October 2025. Although she hasn't been referenced in any posts or interviews, sources claim that her quiet is deliberate. Her PR team is aware of the cycle, according to a hot young hip-hop editor who reported the news. Virality is fueled by engagement and maintains 6ix9ine's relevance. The one thing he cannot control is his refusal to participate. Her followers have done the same. Instead of combating trolls, fans are using hashtags like #StayIcy and #WeLoveCity to drown out the negativity while listening her discography, and it's working. According to chart data reports, daily streams of Pretty Re music increased by 32% following the podcast incident, demonstrating that sometimes silence truly is the loudest response. City's dating past isn't what makes her tale interesting. Rather, it's how the business responds to it. It's regarded as prestige when a male rapper alternates between models and influencers. It's called passing around when a lady dates someone in her social circle. Since the beginning of hip-hop, there has been a double standard, and 6ix9ine's remarks have only rekindled it. However, there was a different backlash this time. It was more conscious and louder. The hypocrisy was exposed by feminist pages and cultural analysts on Instagram, such as the Neighborhood Conversation and Spiritual Word. It was a poetic irony. 6ix9ine unintentionally brought up his own reputation while attempting to damage others. The most remarkable thing about Sweetie's perseverance is that she has never allowed scandal to define her. There has been a new milestone for every rumor. New singles, new tours, and new endorsements. She hinted at working with DOA Cat and Chloe Bailey on an all-female powerhouse anthem called Money Talks in 2025. Supporters suggest that it might contain subtle barbs at guys who conceal their failures with gossip. If that's the case, it will be the most sophisticated kind of retaliation, a chart-topping single produced out of defamation. City doesn't have to provide a verbal clap in return. She uses numbers to accomplish this. What did 6ix9ine's disclosure actually achieve, then? Nothing. If anything, it merely served to emphasize how little influence he still has over culture. While he uses rumor as a weapon, women like City subtly rule the charts, boardrooms, and the hearts of millions of people who recognize her for who she really is. Evidence of your ability to be strong and feminine, sexual and respectful, cold and unconcerned. Her silence is a sign of control rather than vulnerability. City still has the microphone even though 6ix9ine may shout the loudest. Rose Ruby. Ruby Rose, a 27-year-old rapper and model from Atlanta who is well known for her daring lyrics and OnlyFans success, has experienced similar rumors before. However, the accusations carried a mix of shock value and skepticism because they came from 6ix9ine, a person whose own reputation is damaged by legal issues, such as racketeering convictions and admissions of domestic abuse. This article delves deeply into the controversy, examining Ruby Rose's background and romantic relationships, 6ix9ine's history of provocative remarks, the public backlash, and the wider implications